Hello everybody, February 8th, 2023, Doc Hydro here with you on the Fire Bridge. Going over something here, what you're looking at right now is a unit circle for trigonometry. And I'm going to use this as a demonstration in a few minutes as to an article that I just, or a paper that I just put out a couple of hours ago. And it's on my Substack page, firebridge.substack.com. And it's this title right here, Understanding the Capacities of the Mark III Pump, updated, and I did that 2 hours ago. And one of the things that I cover in here and show is the graphs of the Mark III pump. And I've got it broken down with various GPM ratings and pressures. And this is from the manufacturer's website, waterax.com. And then I show some similarities in an effort or an attempt to try to help folks that are coming or going to be taking an S-211 class and how the hydraulics calculations are supposed to work with the Mark III pump, but it never really works out that way. And this is a result of me talking with several folks over the years that have always said that they didn't really like the way that the S-211 was designed, because the course is really about portable pumps, but the math doesn't seem to match, etc., etc. So I've written a 14-page PDF that you can download for free and look at this. And I want you to start thinking about something here. Is this pump curve is triangular, and this green triangle, I drew that in. And this green line should actually follow this red diagonal that you're seeing here. Think of that as the pump's limit line. And down here on the bottom is your horizontal, flat distance, no elevation, and all your flow from 0 to 20 to 40, 60, 80, and 100. Now the Mark III only gets about 98 gallons a minute free flow. And then if you start going down to maximum pressure, you're going to have all the pressure, but theoretically no flow as well, or just barely above zero. So more on that later on. But one of the things that I say is start thinking of your hydraulics calculations as triangular base measurements. So you have a base elevation, and then you have a target elevation. Between those 2 points is going to be your hose lay distance. Everybody already knows that, but the difference between this elevation and this elevation is what your head is, of what you'd be calculating. And so then another thing to look at is how it fits in the real world scenario. So if we superimpose or overlay triangles for the same thing, you can see that if we put our pump down here, and we try to run a single line by itself all the way to the top of this, depending on what our flow is and our pressure demands, we may need more than one pump. And if we need more than one pump, then you have to start stage pumping, which is represented these individual green triangles that I drew in here. The scale of the triangles isn't really important. That's just how it worked out, so don't get freaked out over that. And then down here on the bottom right here, you can click the download button to download the publication. Again, it's free. So that's all there is to that for right now. And if you have any questions or comments, something doesn't make sense, or even if you like it, don't like it, or whatever, please leave me a comment and let me know what your thoughts are and if it's helped you. Because that's the whole purpose of what I'm trying to do this for, is to help as many coming up, because this should be, I believe this should have been included years ago into the S-211, but for fear of, scaring people away or whatever, it's been omitted. And then over the years, we have people that don't understand how the interactions are, and there's a lot of interactions to it. So again, that paper should explain that. Now, coming back to this is the trigonometric unit circle, as it's called. And I want to explain something, and if you read the PDF, it explains what I'm going to show you in more detail. And hopefully in layman's terms with some math, and it's all basic math, so don't freak out. But it shows you how this works. So here's something that I want you to think of. So think that this center is your pump. And then you're going to go out over a horizontal distance for your hose lay. So this would be, for what we're used to in the real world of wildland fire, a simple hose lay. Or there could be a pumpkin over here. Then you just want to pump, let's say it's a mile away and you want to move like 30 gallons a minute. Well, that would be pretty easy to do by itself with a single Mark III. But what happens if you start getting elevation? What happens to the distance that you can pump? Well, everybody always that's experienced with this knows this. It makes sense. People that have never done it don't really have a clue. So here's what I want you to understand. So up this yellow or orange line is really, let me move this up a little bit. So if we move this up, you can see that the red line is now at an angle of 3.7 degrees. And this is your original horizontal line right here, but you can see this, the remnants are starting to be a blue line. That blue line is going to be your head. The red line is going to be your hose lay. And then the plane, the horizontal plane, is going to be this orange line. So if we keep going up, and let's say that we have 500 feet between the center and this outer edge, and we want to shove a certain percentage of water, well, that water that you can shove is going to decrease as you go up in elevation. And we're going to see that. So if I keep going up, watch the blue line. It's getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And so therefore your horizontal distance to which you can pump water at the same rate for elevation decreases. So you got the maximum distance over here, but as you climb in elevation, the distance that you can pump gets shorter and shorter. And so that doesn't mean, so what you would do is calculate your distance by this angle here and then come straight off, most likely over to here. So somewhere around over here at a 45-degree angle is where this is going to be. And so you would probably have to put another pump somewhere in this area for this angle. And as you keep going up, well, now your angle gets shorter. So over where my cursor is probably where another pump would be. And so your horizontal distance decreases, which means that you would need more and more pumps. And so that's just an interactive of what you need to start thinking about, or should start thinking about, to make this more intuitive for you, is that the higher up in your elevation, the horizontal distance decreases. And so think of this distance here as coming up over at an angle and connecting somewhere over in this point as the maximum hose lay distance that you're going to be able to pump. So anyway, guys, just keep this image in your head, and things should start making better sense once you look at the 14-page PDF write-up that I did.